Welcome to the Who in the Heck is Crazy Enough to Buy in This Market edition of YouTube, Facebook Live. We are going live on three platforms today, which is a new thing for us. We are super excited about it. I hope you are excited as well, because we are going to be touching on a topic that a lot of people want to know about, and that is who is crazy enough to buy in this market. Well, I'll tell you that you're looking at someone who is crazy enough to buy in this market. I fielded two calls yet this weekend. It ended up being wrestled and talked about and discussed yesterday about two new buyers who want to buy in this market. One's not going to, one is still going to. But you are looking at this guy who has decided to buy and sell in this market. And we're going to talk about why. We're going to talk about why is that? Why would someone be crazy enough to do that? People are talking about, how we're in a recession. People are talking about how the homes are just sitting, and we're seeing more than 50% of the homes on the market have price reductions. And yes, those are true facts and true statements, but we're going to dive into some of those. So let us buckle up. And again, if we have not met and you found me on YouTube or you're coming from Facebook, you probably know who I am before on Facebook. If we do not know each other, my name is Brian Hymas. I am a real estate agent up here in the Boise area. Namely, I live in Eagle. Eagle is located north of Boise River, like straight up by Eagle Road. And then we're going to be talking about another couple cities today. We're going to talk about Star. We're going to talk about Middleton, and we might even talk about Caldwell. Why Caldwell? It's on my Idaho. It's one of Idaho's worst places to live. It's on my top 6 for places to live. Worst places to live in Idaho, but we're going to talk about that place as well. I've offended somebody on one of my YouTube videos because I said it was so terrible, and they were offended. You know what? If you're not offending someone, you're not doing something right. Isn't that what they say? So apparently I'm doing something right, because I offend people all the time. In fact, somebody accused me the other day of being the sole reason that Idaho was being infiltrated from out of state. I was like, wow, I didn't know I was that cool. So I was happy to hear all of that momentum. Obviously not the case, but okay, let us talk about that. So we talked about who I am. If I want to flash my name and number and email that across the screen for you, because if you guys want to get a hold of me, talk about the real estate market. I just got a text on it. I haven't looked at the text, actually. I know it's from a past client who moved here a year ago from Kansas City, and he said, hey, back almost a year ago to the day, he said he had something like, hey, I want you to do some research. And so if it's just research or just to talk about the market or whatever it is, 208-213-2092, call or text, or if it's an email, brian@brianhymas.com. And we can just talk about the market. In fact, the two people that came to me this weekend who wanted to talk about the market, the one who said they weren't going to buy is because they just simply want to know, they were getting excited about a home they saw downtown Boise. They live Veterans Memorial Parkway area. And they wanted to know about the market and about what they could get for their house. So I did some stuff for them, and they agreed. And they agreed with what I said to them, and that helped them make a more sound decision. Their sound decision at this point was to not move. So it totally depends on your situation. But I'm happy to help with all things. If it does not lead to a sell, I'm super happy to help with all those questions. So let us talk first about who's crazy enough to move in this market. Okay, mathematically, in a market that's going up, you get pretty anxious, right? Mathematics say that if you buy and sell in the same market when it's rising up, that you're I'm going to make an example. It's not straight math, but I'm going to try to paint a picture. If I buy a house that's worth $300,000 and the market goes up to 10% to $330,000, I've now gained $30,000 in equity, or 10% of my purchase price. If the math were straight, but it's not, but it's close to it. If I had $1 million home and the market went up 10% that same time period, now I have a bigger gap between what my purchase price, my sell price is, and my current price, the purchase price that I want to purchase. So mathematically, it can work out actually in your favor to upsize in a downsizing market. That's actually twofold. I mean, talk about the second reason there. But mathematics straight, if you have no other reason besides same amount of buyers and sellers, the math works out better to downsize in an increasing market. So with the market tailing just a bit, my wife and I actually found a house a month ago or so. We've been under contract for about a month in the city where we live in Eagle, and we are moving to one of the top 6 worst places to live, according to one of my YouTube videos, and that is Caldwell. It's a Caldwell address. It's right across the street from Middleton High School, so we're moving to Middleton. Super excited about it. it's a county, so it's just not incorporated by a city. And so we're moving to, I just going to say Caldwell. It's just fun to say, moving from Eagle to Caldwell. I have made a name for me and my business around Eagle, and that's certainly not going to go away. Still know this place. Just getting an acre of land in order to afford what we wanted to afford, we needed to get outside to the outskirts of Middleton / Caldwell. So who is crazy enough to buy in this market? We are. Maybe you guys have questions about that. You want to know more about why we'd be doing something crazy like that? Well, please ask away. Remember, tell me where you are watching from. I love hearing that. If you are watching from California, Washington, Oregon, Boise, please tell me where you're watching from. It helps me know where you come from. Also, the more comments this thing gets, the more YouTube suggests to more people who want to watch this, and then more they can get on and comment, and we can have more interesting conversations and topics, because this is a monologue without your guys' help. So please feel free to tell me where you're watching from, and I'd love to hear which platform you're on, since we have 3 options: Twitter, Facebook, business page on Facebook, or my personal page on Facebook, or YouTube. So would love to see where and how you are watching. Let's see here. We have Candy. Candy's a local. You're crazy enough. Yes, you are crazy enough. You guys are. They are building right now, building in the neighboring city. And good to see you. Good to see you here, Candy. All right, we have some questions that have gone unanswered on the YouTube channel, and I'm going to get on and answer those as well. But we're going to answer some of those previous questions that have been answered. Asked, and I'm going to talk about that right now. White Kita says, I would consider moving to Meridian, but I would only buy a house without an HOA. No HOA for me. No, thank you. Okay, let's back up from her question. Let's back up from a comment and talk about HOAs. So I had a client in town last weekend, and legitimately this is their same thing. I hear this all the time. No HOAs, no HOAs, no HOAs. Boy, while you can find a home with no HOA, what's an HOA for, by the way? An HOA is a governing body. I think it's the wrong one, Gene. That was on Chris. The comment we're looking at is right above the one that was squared. The HOA is the governing body that enforces the CC&Rs. So most neighborhoods have some sort of CC&Rs, and the CC&Rs dictate all the rules, and then the HOA enforces the rules. And they can enforce new rules and regulations as well if they want. When we look at HOA, what does an HOA provide you? If you move to an HOA with a $100 a year HOA, you might be getting a few strips of grass mowed. You might be getting water rights to your irrigation water, and that's enough to pay for itself. Most HOAs dues are about $300 for cheap, or $300 to $500 for HOA dues. But you have to remember that you are getting your water that waters your lawn included in that HOA fee, right? Most of the time. There are a couple subdivisions. In fact, usually I know those ones by name because they're so rare and few. But most of your HOAs are going to, the newer ones have the water rights included, and so you will be taking those $300 a month, and you don't have to worry about overpaying for your lawn. So that's one thing about an HOA. The other thing about HOAs in Boise and Meridian, Eagle, Stark, Una, Nampa, Caldwell, Midland, is that it beautifies the area, right? So your HOA, you may not want a strict HOA. You might want a minimal HOA. You might want zero HOA, like White Kita has said. But just keep in mind there are benefits and there are positive factors that can come out of those as well. So there are neighborhoods in Meridian that don't have HOAs. I actually have a house for sale right now with no HOA in Meridian. But it's because it was on the neighborhood track. It's in the neighborhood, has CC&Rs, but it's just no enforceable CC&Rs because they haven't been enforced for a while. Actually, they could be if someone wanted to resurrect them, but there's no one that is controlling that as well. So let's go back to the next question. I got a note here. Well, let's go on to the next question. Comment from Chris. Looks like you're a former cop, Chris. Chris says, Are there any bad areas in Meridian or Boise? Moving there soon, and as a former cop, I would like to avoid these areas. Let me answer that question by answering another question. Where are all the cops and where are all the firemen moving to? Boy, there are a ton of cops and firemen moving to Star and Milton. And I am not just saying that because I live out in this way. That's a ton, it's a concentrated effort of something, some almost like it's been choreographed. There are a ton of cops and former firemen or current firemen who just go back and forth to their city and collect their out of state wages and live here for half the month because they can with their schedules. Are there bad areas? Certainly, I'm sure there are. It depends. I mean, like when we look at a Boise's bad area compared to Watts or Compton or Crenshaw District or something like that. In fact, that's just stereotypes. I don't even know the ins and outs of those communities. When we look at which is worse, like we're not seeing murders and gangbangers all the time in the news. We're pretty thankfully we're well behind that, and so you have to take that into consideration when you're moving to Boise. Is that most areas are good areas, and really, you can. I think you, as the buyer, can put on your antennas and get your feelers out there and kind of feel which areas would you'd want to live in, which areas you wouldn't want to live in. That would be my advice to you: is to really take into consideration those areas. We, as realtors and real estate agents governed by the state of Idaho, cannot actually talk about certain specifics about crime. I talk about stats as a state of fact. Crime rates are states of fact, but I can't talk about good areas and bad areas based on different parameters. But I can tell you that there aren't too many areas that you're not going to want to be. The areas that you don't want to be aren't terrible. I would drive down any neighborhood, any time of day, in the whole Treasure Valley, and I am not kidding. There's not one area where I'm scared for my life or anything like that. Not every person in Boise is perfect, but if there's any locals on here, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts to add, because I don't want them to feel like them just feeding and filling them full of stuff that I think is gonna sell them on Idaho. So any locals on here, please feel free to contribute on that topic. All right. Okay, let's talk about the worst places to live in the state of Idaho. On one of my videos, I said number 6 was Payette, Idaho. Number 5, Pocatello. Number 4, Nampa. Number 3, Caldwell. Number 2, Garden City. And number 1, Mountain Home. Caldwell made number 3. And why am I moving to Caldwell if it's the third worst place to live in the state of Idaho? There are good areas of every city. When I say Mountain Home is the worst place to live, my good colleague, her clients just moved from Boise to Mountain Home. They grabbed an awesome shop. They grabbed some land. I mean, there's some good things. There's some good things to every city. I still wouldn't live downtown Caldwell personally. That's not my jam. We are literally five houses, 1, 2, 3, about 4 houses away from the city of Middleton, and we're that many houses away from the Caldwell High School. We have no regrets about moving to Caldwell. You could throw everything you wanted my way, and we are so happy to move and get land. We're super excited about it. So IVF Mama said, I'm a little offended. I live in Nampa Caldwell border, Carshire and probably Lake Lowell, in the new build. We're near all the shopping, and I'm glad to stay away from crowded places like Meridian. We came from Garden City too, a very nice part of it, further from Chinden, but closer to Eagle. Okay. IVF Mama has proven my point. She's lived in Garden City. I would say my number 2. She's lived in Caldwell, Nampa, and that's number 3 and 4. I would not hesitate to get a house in these areas usually the prices, if it's well priced. Let's say you have a $900,000 home in Garden City, which there's $1 million homes in Garden City. You can bet your bottom dollar that's going to be you're going to be pretty good and happy with your purchase there. Caldwell, Nampa. The last home we offered on before Nampa, well, actually was Eagle, but we offered on a home in Nampa, then offered a home in Eagle, then offered on a home in Caldwell. We would have been happy in all three areas. 2-8 Grumpy. Let's talk about some flood insurance. Most areas in Meridian, you're not going to need flood insurance. You can go to the FEMA maps, FHA FEMA maps. So type in FHA FEMA maps, or just type in FEMA maps, and you can type in an address. So Meridian sits primarily on a shelf, and so a lot of Meridian is up above where the Boise River is, and that Boise River is where a lot of that floodplain is. So if you take a look at the map, if you looked at Boise's map, you'd see a dam over there at Lucky Peak. That Lucky Peak Dam, if that were to break, that's basically the flood area they're concerned about. There are homes that are literally 5 homes from the Boise River that are not even in the floodplain because they're built up. Flood insurance costs, I would have to do some research on that one for you. Oh, check this out. I can show what you've done. Hey, it's cool. I'm pretty excited about that. 208 Grumpy, it's awesome. I love the name, by the way, 208 Grumpy. So you must be in Idaho. 208 Grumpy, 208, obviously. You're grumpy about something. Maybe you wanted 2 horses and not one. I see on a beautiful horse there. Yes, flood insurance. So I've only gotten flood insurance quoted out one time because I'm not in the floodplain. It was super, super, super cheap. So that is I don't know if you were to give me an address that we could get it easily, kind of an estimate for it. That'd be pretty easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. SoCal, that's why I'm grumpy. So SoCal, are you just dreaming of 208? Is that why you've got that in the name? And what city in SoCal are you from? Let's go to the next. While he answers that, let's go to the next question. This one comes from Warriors of the Highest. I see a question. Courtney popped up. I'll talk to you in a second. Thank you, local Courtney, for being in here. I love when locals pop on. Warriors of the Highest says, I grew up in Caldwell and loved it. Sadly enough, the government in Idaho keep Nampa and Caldwell from growing and improving. They shut down things that benefit and keep things that benefit them. I like Caldwell. Okay. Good to know. Good to hear from someone who's local, who's been in Caldwell, likes Caldwell. You got one thing to understand too about Canyon County. Canyon County's taxes are more, so there's more industry in Ada County, right? There's more businesses that allow those taxes to come down. When I lived in Boise, I lived on the border of Boise and Meridian. About 10 houses away was Meridian. Our taxes were considerably less than those who lived in Meridian. Not considerably. They were less, barely, but they were less because Boise was a little bit less. I'm going to put Courtney's comment up here, a comment or question. So true. There are very few areas that you wouldn't want to live in the Treasure Valley, especially when you compare it to California. That was a big deciding factor for us to move. Was I felt comfortable to take a walk in our neighborhood. Let me see what this says here. And in your neighborhood, I want to see that. Dang it! I have to unclick that, and then I get to read it. I felt 100% comfortable taking walks, workout anytime, everywhere in the Treasure Valley. Safety and cost of living were the most important to us when we decided to move. And Courtney used to live in Caldwell, and they looked at. I remember looking at a house, Courtney, that you guys were looking at fixing up, and I wouldn't say it was the brightest spot of Caldwell, would you? But it was still a neighborhood you could walk to the park, and they ended up moving to Meridian. Awesome location, by the way. But they found it to be a very walking friendly community for them that they're in now. I mean, it's awesome. So Courtney, thanks for chiming in there. Super awesome. And I love hearing the locals' experiences because totally. I mean, I wish you could just see it and feel it for yourself. If you haven't been here, most areas feel as safe as you can think of. Okay, let's talk about the selling process right now. This is good. So right now on my house, I see a under contract sign, which is so awesome. We feel pretty fortunate and lucky to have our house under contract, especially in this market. I want you guys to know that, especially the sellers know, I put my money where my mouth is. We went through a kitchen remodel and a bathroom remodel, and what else did we do in that last week? I think that was it in the last week. But we went to the nines with everything. Right now, what I'm seeing, buyers are not wanting to get something that requires a lot of work. They're wanting to get in something that's move-in ready, and they want something that's priced right. Right for them might be a tick lower than you think you should get for your house because buyers are seeing what sellers are seeing. The market is a little bit in commotion, and so they're not going to be wanting to spend top dollar unless they're getting top dollar value. And so our house probably would have been listed for 800 ish a few months ago, and we listed at 740. And we're going, and basically, for long story short, is we're selling it for a hair under 740. But I was representing the buyers as well on this one. They were buyers that had come from Oregon, and because I had the buyers and I'm selling, we could take less, and it appears it's like a 780 offer essentially. So it worked out well for us. We had 3 offers. Not everyone can say that right now. I have 2 other homes on the market right now. One is just as beautiful as ours, and it's priced a little bit under than 750. And that house is beautiful. I've got an $800,000 house. It's on acreage. It got the best view in the Treasure Valley. It's next to the freeway and Black Cat. And that one's just gonna need the right buyer because it's on an acre next to a noisy road. But it's got the best view in the Little Treasure Valley, and it's got 2,700 square feet plus 5 bedrooms. So you take the market, what buyers are wanting is perfect, well priced, and that's when they bite. Like both those homes have been on the market for roughly 2 months, and that's a little long when you compare, but it doesn't make me scared because we do research every week on what those should be priced at. I just sent both Tuesdays my update day to my sellers, and I just sent them updates on where we should be priced at. And on both of them, I feel good where we're at. We just have to decide. You have to decide how you position yourself. Marketing in selling in real estate is 3 things: traffic, leads, sales. Traffic comes in to the websites, and they see on your Zillows, the Trulias, the Redfins, the MLS websites, my websites I make for them, their pages individually. Traffic. Leads are the people who come and look at your house. Those are leads. Sales are the people who write contracts. Those are our sales. Those are people who are willing to put their money where their mouth where their money is. And so just so you know, that's how that's traffic, leads, sales. And when we have a house, there are 5 things that determine value. 5. I think I've gone over this before. If you know what they are, put them in the chat. There is a little bit of delay in the chat, but put them in the chat if you know which 5 they are that determine value. There is, and this is debatable. I've combined. I say there's 5, and one of them that you might say what I would include in one. So there's location, condition, price, marketing, and negotiation. What does the seller control, and what does the agent control? Marketing and negotiation are me. Those are 2 things that I take pride in. Marketing is by far and away my strength. More than just look at me as a buyer's agent. I find you because I market on YouTube. That is my thing for you guys who are out-of-staters. I market. Location, Courtney was one of the 5. Good job. It's not always location, because you can have. What if you have a dump in Beverly Hills? Wouldn't you get more money out of that if the condition was better? So it's not always location, right? So that's why location would make you that half acre of land be worth millions, right? So it's partly that, but it's 5 things: condition, location, price, negotiating, marketing. So we talk about price over and over and over again. We have to be right on price because that gets traffic. When you go online to search for homes, you are searching with a dollar amount, and you're searching under that dollar amount, right? So many times, not all the time by any stretch, 30% of the time, I have buyers who say our budget is $800,000, and then we go out and we search and we find a home worth $915, and I'm like, why in the heck are we walking through this thing? And guess what we end up buying? Well, they had more budget than they told me. So if they're always like, gosh, I just wish we had a bigger backyard. Oh, I just wish now we have the bigger backyard. I wish we had a nicer kitchen. Well, if you have $100,000 more to work with, you can solve that problem, right? So if you have a higher budget, I have noticed that you are not likely to want to spend less than your budget because you want to get the most for what you can. All right. Do we have any first-time home buyers out there? If you are a first-time home buyer, raise your virtual hand. Put a me out there on the chat. Would love to know who you are. I wanted to, as you are identifying yourself, I had 2 buyers, like I said, this weekend that came to me and said, hey, we're interested in buying. And then we talked, and one of them is not going to buy, and one of them still might. The first thing that we can do, well, my 1, 2, 3 easy buying process is that we chat, and we have a Zoom call, and then you come to town. And those three things, I promise you, it sounds so, it's easy because it's almost too easy. It sounds so simple, but I promise you, and those who've done the Zoom call with me, those who've done the Zoom call with me can attest that Zoom call will save us hours and hours and possibly weeks and weeks of searching. I have a buyer right now who we did that Zoom call, and um, they're refusing to do some of the key parts of that exercise. And what I'm finding right now is they are going through and acting like normal buyers. They'll say, "Hey, we want to go see that house," and then they'll say 2 days later, "We want to go see that house," and then they'll say, "Want to go see that house." And what are we doing? We're picking and selecting. If we put real parameters on what we're looking for, I promise I will save you hours, if not days, if not weeks of search time in finding your house. It is a simple, easy process. Almost too easy. It almost seems like you just got, you found your house and everything worked out. I promise you that it is the way to save time and be more efficient. There is no one in this process that wants to be out looking at 400 homes. You guys don't. I don't. My dog doesn't, which I don't have a dog, and your dog doesn't. I promise you, there's no one who wants to do that. So save the time, and we'll find a house a lot quicker for you, and it's going to be something that's actually enjoyable. You'll look back and remember looking at houses, and it'll make you maybe want to do it again someday. Because the terrible part of home moving, we all know that is just that moving. So, yeah, let's if you are moving, let's hook up with the 1 2 3 easy buying process. You have my number, you have my email. My number is 208-213-2092, and my email is brian@brianhymus.com. Guys, this was our first midday YouTube/Facebook live. This was different than the market report. So the market report will be in 2 weeks on the third Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Pacific. And that's when we talk about stats. We talk about median days on market, sold prices, home sale prices, highs and lows, medians, everything. That's when we do that. This was more to talk about right now. Why would anyone buy and sell in this market? And that I hope we've answered. When you buy and sell in the same market, you are effectively taking a risk at two knowns. When you sell in one market and hopefully hold on to your house for 6 months, you're doing one known and one unknown. If you're going to do it the safe way, because you know more variables, is to buy and sell in the same market, and that's going to save your gray hairs a little bit, and it's going to make the process a little bit easier. When you do sell in this market, even in this market, you can get multiple buyers. You can get multiple offers on one house by pricing it correctly and by making it a 5-star house. I recently talked to a friend, bless his heart, he went with another realtor, good friend of mine, and he talked about how he listed his house off market and he got a buyer. And his logic was sound. He said, I got a good offer, and it looked like it was. I actually looked at the pricing, and it legitimately was a fine offer. But when you only market to one person, and instead of showing it to thousands and thousands of people who will see that house, who've been waiting for that same neighborhood, for that same home, for that same price point, everything, if you list your house, you have thousands of people who will want to see your house. Remember, it's 3 things that determine a sell: traffic, leads, sales. Traffic, leads, sales. And so if you only get one person walking through your house and they make an offer, yeah, you'd have to vacuum your house, and you have to get out of town for a couple of days, and that might be worth it. People do it all the time. There's things called there's ways to. You guys have all been hit up by Open Door. I've been hit up by Open Door. Open Door gives you about 90% of what your home value is worth. In this market, it's actually proving to be a little bit less than that. So they'll actually come in and they'll say, okay, your house is worth $750. They'll give you a mailer that says your house is worth $650 to $750, right? Something like that. They give you a huge range, and you're thinking, well, of course it's worth $750. You just don't know what you're talking about. They'll come in and say, okay, it's worth $750. Quick math. They'll give you 85, 90% of that. And I can't do quick math on that, so I'm just gonna pretend like it's 700,000. And then they'll offer you 700,000, and you don't have to do any staging, any cleaning, any showings, and then you just get to walk away. And they might offer you 650. Who knows what they offer you? But you do it anyway. There are people who want to just get in there, get out, and be done with the whole rigmarole. And if that's you, bless your heart. My job is to market a home and negotiate for you so that you use more money in your pocket. Did you know that there's a brokerage out there called Homely? They're like a for sale by owner, essentially. And the for sale by owner is they sell their homes for 92% of what their list price value is. I sell my homes on an average, last time I checked, for 104% of what the list price is. Some of that's the market, but they were in the same market when we compare that, right? And some of it's my marketing. And in this market, marketing still means a lot. And when the market's decreasing, guess what really means a lot? Marketing. What do we do? What do I do for people when we sell homes? Real quick, clean their carpets, wash their windows, provide $1,000 towards staging. So I'll bring in the stuff, and we'll after 1 month stage your house. Professional photography, professional 360 photography, and a video. All of that, and that video goes out to my YouTube audience, which is where primarily a lot of you are coming from. So, is marketing worth it? I 100% believe it is. We have condition, location, price, marketing, negotiation. Your agent's job should be in charge. If they don't know marketing and all they can do is stick your home on the MLS, I'd probably pick someone else. It doesn't have to be me. Although confidently, I pride myself in this job, and I pride myself that I can do the best job for you. Moving to Boise, 208-213-2092. First-time home buyers, out-of-staters, please reach out. And then my email, brian@brianhamas.com. We had somebody this past week reach out to us from the YouTube channel lives. I've only seen them on the lives. It was good to see them. And they're 5 years out, and they just want to tell me their plan. And that is perfect. If you got some time out, I would love to get that ball started, put you in touch with lenders, get your credit scores right, get your plan right, and then we will set you up for when you move and make it final that you're moving to Boise. So as always, thank you for being with us. If you have no other further questions, remember to like and subscribe. Just so when the videos come out, you're first to know. Oftentimes those videos get missed if you're not subscribed to the channel. So do like and subscribe to the channel. And there's a little graphic for you. Click subscribe, hit that bell, and we will see you on the next live. That is the third Tuesday of the month at 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain. And whoever's crazy enough to buy in this market, it's me. I hope there's others out there. If you are buying and or selling in this market, and it includes the Boise area, it means a lot to me and my family to make me your choice. And I will do everything I can to market and do all the marketing and make sure we negotiate for the highest and best for your house. And then when we're searching, the 1, 2, 3 easy buying process will be your friend, because we'll be more efficient and you guys will be in your new home in no time. That way we can buy and sell in the same market. That way it's buying and selling in two knowns as opposed to selling now and then buying in an unknown market. So we want to do as much as we can to do everything in the known. Guys, it has been a pleasure. Hit me up, 208-213-2092, or send me an email, brian@brianhamas.com. We will catch you next time. Thank you, everyone. Candy, 28 Grumpy, Courtney for giving me the comments, and we will see you all